Welcome back to the deep dive. For years in fitness, it often felt like you had this binary choice, right?
Hmm.
Either you chase raw, maximal strength, like a powerlifter, or you sculpt that, stage-ready physique like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, that was the standard thinking.
But what if, like the deepest insights we've gathered, what if they show that choice isn't just false, but it actually limits your potential?
Exactly. And that's where power building comes in.
Right. So today we're diving deep into power building.
It's a really fascinating evolution in how people train. Truly. Our mission today is pretty clear. Define power building, dig into its maybe surprising origins.
Definitely surprising for some, I think.
Yeah, and then dissect its core principles and finally equip you, our listener, with practical, actionable tips, stuff you can actually use to build a successful power building program.
So think of this as your shortcut, your guide to really getting this effective training method down.
Exactly. Mastering it, or at least getting started strong.
Okay, so let's get right to it then. What is power building? Like beyond just smashing two words together, how do we technically define this blend?
So technically, power building is really a synergistic fusion.
Oh.
It strategically combines those three big powerlifting movements, the squat, bench press, and
The
deadlift.
foundation.
The absolute foundation, yeah. And it combines those with the targeted, higher volume accessory work you typically see bodybuilders doing.
Okay.
The main goal, the overarching goal, is really a simultaneous pursuit. You're aiming for significant muscle hypertrophy, that's muscle growth, alongside a really big increase in overall strength.
So you're not just strong and not just big.
You're aiming for both at the
Yeah.
same time.
Gotcha. What's really wild is that, okay, power building feels like a modern term, but our sources kind of hint this concept didn't just pop up recently with one single inventor.
No, not at all.
It seems like it emerged more organically from how some really surprising figures trained. Can you tell us more about that? Because I think people will be amazed at who was basically power building before it was even a thing.
You're absolutely right. And we're talking about true legends here, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ronnie Coleman.
Wow, okay. Arnold first.
Yeah, Arnold. 7-time Mr. Olympia champion. Everyone knows him for bodybuilding greatness, obviously. But what often gets kind of glossed over is his pretty significant powerlifting background before he became this huge bodybuilding icon.
He lifted heavy.
Oh, yeah. He trained heavy. Very, very heavy for years. That foundation was there.
Okay, and then Ronnie Coleman, another absolute legend, 8 Mr. Olympia titles. Was his path similar? Did he start with that raw power aspect too?
It really was. Ronnie Coleman also kicked off his career as a formidable powerlifter before he just completely dominated the bodybuilding world. And the insight here is really crucial, I think. Both Arnold and Ronnie, even with all their bodybuilding success, they share this fundamental drive to lift incredibly heavy weights. That's pure powerlifting principle, right?
Right, lift heavy things.
Exactly. But as bodybuilders, they also had to meticulously sculpt every single muscle group for size, for symmetry. And that required the high-volume, hypertrophy-focused accessory work that bodybuilders do.
Does that just combine them?
They organically merged these two approaches,
Mm-hmm.
heavy compounds for that raw strength, and then targeted accessories to maximize the musculature. They were, in effect, pioneering what we now call power building.
Wow.
It's almost like they just instinctively knew how interconnected those two things were, strength and size feeding each other.
It's pretty amazing how these icons kind of paved the way. But, okay, let me ask this. For someone trying this now, wouldn't focusing on both risk maybe diluting your efforts? Like, is there a point where you become a jack of all trades, master of none? Or does power building genuinely offer a path to, like, real excellence in both strength and size?
That's a really critical question, and it gets right to the heart, the genius, I think, of power building. It's not about dilution. It's actually about a unique strategy that harmoniously merges the tactics for accelerated gains.
Accelerated? How
Huh?
so?
Well, think about the heavy compound movements, squat, bench, deadlift. They're incredibly efficient. They hit a massive amount of muscle all at once, stimulating systemic growth.
Okay.
And they build that raw strength foundation.
Okay.
That raw strength then allows you to handle heavier weights on your accessory movements, which
Interesting.
drives even more hypertrophy. It's a positive feedback loop.
So it's like you said, a loop, a perpetual motion machine for gains almost. You build the horsepower with the big lifts, and that lets you carry more cargo, meaning lift more on accessories,
Yeah.
which in turn makes the engine, your body, even stronger and bigger.
Exactly.
So the real insight, the kind of secret sauce, is that strength isn't just a result of getting bigger, it's actually a catalyst for getting even bigger.
Precisely. That symbiotic feedback loop is what makes power building so incredibly potent. You're basically unlocking a faster path to getting both strong and big.
Right. They build on each other.
If you get stronger, you allow yourself to get bigger. And if you get bigger, well, you gain the potential to become even stronger down the line. These two things, they don't just sit side by side. They actively fuel each other within a well-structured program.
That feedback loop sounds just incredibly efficient. Building strength to drive size, and then size supporting even greater strength potential. It kind of flips the script, doesn't it?
It really does.
So, okay, for our listeners who are thinking, all right, I'm sold, I want to try this, where do they even begin? What are the fundamental do's and don'ts for actually building an effective power building program?
Okay, perfect transition. Let's get practical. Based on everything we've looked at, there are essentially 5 top tips for creating a solid power building program that lets you, take action right away.
All right, tip number 1. And this feels foundational. Powerlifting compound movements are primary, like non-negotiable first step.
Absolutely. Every power building session must start with a compound movement squat, bench, or deadlift, or maybe a close variation. These are your big rocks, your heavy hitters.
Got it.
And the specificity here really matters. Using a variation, say like a pause squat, isn't just for kicks, it's tactical.
Tactical how?
Well, a pause squat, for instance, it specifically targets and strengthens what's often the weakest point in a lifter squat right at the bottom.
Right, coming out of the hole.
Exactly. And it can seriously contribute to hip size and strength because you're increasing that time under tension right in that stretched position. For these main lifts, the recommendation is pretty consistent. 2-3 sets, usually in the 3-6 rep range.
Low reps, heavyweight.
Heavyweight, yeah. And with a good amount of rest, like 2 to 3 minutes between sets. You need that recovery to really push maximal strength on each set.
Okay. Heavy compounds first. Low reps, long rest. That sets the stage for tip number 2 then. Bodybuilding movements are secondary, but absolutely necessary for the size part, right?
Non-negotiable for hypertrophy, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you've knocked out your 1 or 2 heavy powerlifting movements, that's your cue. You shift gears into those more hypertrophy-focused accessories. This is where you really got to train like a bodybuilder.
What does that mean, train like a bodybuilder here? With focused intention.
Exactly, focused intention. It means pushing that target muscle towards exhaustion, maybe even hitting mechanical failure sometimes, to really trigger growth. You can get there through higher volume or specific techniques like manipulating time under tension.
Okay.
The critical thing is maximizing the stimulus on that specific muscle you're trying to grow.
And this is where that whole mind-muscle connection thing comes in, right? Which, okay, it gets debated sometimes, but it seems crucial for this part of power building, for the accessory work.
It absolutely is, especially here. It's about consciously engaging, really feeling the target muscle contracting throughout the entire movement. It's not just like a mental trick.
Right.
It's a technique that helps enhance motor unit recruitment. It makes sure you're putting maximum tension on the specific muscle you want to grow, leading to a much more efficient hypertrophic stimulus. You're not just moving weight, you're contracting muscle.
That heightened awareness sounds key for getting the most bang for your buck from those secondary movements.
Totally. Which leads us nicely into our third tip.
Sure.
Manipulate rest rates. This is actually one of the maybe overlooked secrets to making power building work really well.
Okay, explain that. Because traditionally, powerlifters take ages between sets, right? To fully recover for the next super heavy lift.
Yeah, several minutes usually, to let the nervous system recharge.
But bodybuilders often take much less rest. They're chasing the pump metabolic stress.
Right, aiming for that anabolic reaction.
Yeah.
So power building needs to bridge that gap.
So how does it do that effectively?
Well, the sources point towards a hybrid approach. You keep those longer 2-3 minute breaks for your main heavy compound movements. You need that strength recovery.
Okay.
But then, for all your hypertrophy-focused accessories, you slash that rest time way down. Think 30 to 60 seconds between sets, max.
Oh, wow. That sounds tough.
It is tough. But these lower rest rates, they build your work capacity. They push you to tolerate more metabolic stress, that burning sensation from lactate buildup.
Oh, yeah.
That directly signals the body for an anabolic reaction, stimulating muscle repair and growth. Plus, it trains you to recover faster over time, which means you can handle harder workouts and lift heavier, more efficiently, and maybe even safer in the long run.
That makes a lot of sense. You're adapting your body specifically for this hybrid style. Okay, moving to tip 4. Time under tension or volume, and crucially, this helps spare your joints.
Yes, exactly.
Because when you're in that bodybuilding focus part, the weight isn't quite as heavy as the main lifts, which must be a plus for joint health.
It's a major benefit. And the choice between using time under tension, or TUT, versus just higher volume for hypertrophy,
Yeah.
it really comes down to you, your body, your joints.
So TUT first, how does that work?
With TUT, you're meticulously controlling the tempo.
Yeah.
Maybe a slower down phase, the eccentric, or a slower up phase, the concentric,
Yeah.
or pauses. The goal is to keep the muscle under tension for longer, exhausting it without necessarily needing super heavy weight.
Okay.
This can be fantastic for someone maybe dealing with some joint pain, or someone who just doesn't respond well or recover well from really high volume training. You don't need a ton of sets and reps if you're really effective with tempo.
Right. But the flip side is volume, right? Just doing more work. Lots of studies back that up for growth.
Oh, absolutely. Volume is a well-established driver of hypertrophy. You can do it with traditional straight sets, 3 sets of 10, rest, repeat.
Sure.
Or you can get creative with more advanced stuff like giant sets.
Which is like multiple exercises for one muscle group back to back, no rest.
Exactly. Or supersets, 2 exercises back to back, usually opposing muscles or sometimes the same muscle group. Or drop sets, where you hit failure, immediately reduce the weight, and keep repping out.
Lots of ways to accumulate volume.
Tons. The key thing really is personalization. You have options, TUT or volume. You got to make a tactical choice based on your strengths, your limitations, how your body responds. Listen to your body.
Good advice. Okay, final tip, number 5. Incorporate deload weeks. This seems critical given how intense powerbuilding sounds.
It really is. You're merging 2 sports that are on their own extremely tough. You're pushing hard session after session. Without planned recovery, you're just going to stall out or get hurt.
Makes sense.
So given that intensity, it's absolutely crucial to, periodically plan to peak your strength, maybe every 12 to 16 weeks, but also, more frequently, proactively build in a deload phase, maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the person and the program intensity.
And this isn't just about avoiding injury, right?
No, it's more than that. It lets your nervous system and your muscles fully recover from the accumulated fatigue. It allows adaptation to happen. That's when the gains actually solidify. And it sets the stage for making more gains in the next block. Plus, it gives you a clear point to kind of measure progress before and after.
Okay, so how do you actually do a deload without feeling like you're just, slacking off or losing momentum?
Yeah, that's a common concern. The sources are pretty clear. Keep the workout structure the same. Same exercises, same days, same basic format. But you significantly drop the intensity, the weight on the bar.
How much do you drop it?
Generally, the recommendation is to drop the weight to about 70 or 80% of what you used in your previous heavy workout for the same planned reps and sets.
So if I bench 300 pounds for, say, 2 sets of 6 reps.
Right, then on your deload week, you'd still do 2 sets of 6 reps, but maybe with 210 pounds or maybe 240 pounds, somewhere in that 70-80% range. The key is consistency in the frequency and structure, but a very deliberate drop in intensity. That facilitates recovery without detraining.
Got it. Keep showing up, keep doing the movements, just lighten the load significantly.
Exactly. Okay, so to help you visualize this better, maybe picture how these principles actually look in a workout week. The general template we see for those foundational powerlifting compounds, you're in that 2-3 sets of 3-6 reps range, right? With the long 2-3 minute rest.
Right.
But then when you shift to the hypertrophy accessories, the game totally changes. It's more like 3-4 sets, maybe 8-15 reps, sometimes even more. And crucially, much shorter rests, 30 to 60 seconds. That contrast is vital.
So let's take a squat day, for example. You'd start heavy.
Yep. Heavy foundational back squats first, maybe 2-3 sets of 3-6 reps. Then you might follow that with a squat variation. Let's say dead squat starting 1 inch above parallel. Still compound, still pretty heavy, maybe 2 sets of 4-6 reps. Really targeting a specific weakness like driving out of the bottom.
Okay, strength focus done.
Strength focus done. Then you pivot completely into hypertrophy. This is where you'd bring in exercises like, say, dumbbell RDLs for hamstrings and glutes, maybe 3-4 sets of 8-12 reps. Then maybe some single leg hamstring curls, perhaps some leg press work, All done with those shorter 30, 60-second rest periods. You're chasing the pump, the metabolic stress.
You're really physically shifting gears within the same workout.
Exactly. It's a deliberate shift in focus and execution.
Okay, this paints a really clear picture. It truly blends the two disciplines, strength and bodybuilding, right into a single session.
Mm-hmm.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it's crystal clear that power building isn't just some fleeting trend. It's a really robust, versatile, and frankly, incredibly effective way to train.
Yeah, it seamlessly combines the best of both worlds, functional strength and impressive muscle development.
It feels like a really complete solution for anyone serious about optimizing their fitness, doesn't it? Getting strong and looking strong.
Absolutely. Delivers without compromise if you structure it right.
And the beauty is its adaptability. It's not, just for elite competitors. It offers a powerful blueprint for anyone listening who wants to bust through plateaus and really redefine what they're capable of physically, whether you're newer to lifting or you've been at it for years.
Well said.
So thinking about everything we've discussed, what specific element of this power building approach, this hybrid style, do you think could most dramatically impact your current training? And maybe more importantly, how are you going to start experimenting with it this week? Something to think about.